And welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about the fact that by now you've seen other videos and you have an idea about what the system does, and you're ready to sign up and to get in, and you probably get to this screen, and now what? There's so many options. What should you do? If you remember the first video, we talked about a certain pyramid of things that need to be done in order to produce the recipe, and the thing at the bottom were the ingredients. So the first thing you need to do is look, for example, at the next event that you're planning to schedule, and look at one of the menus you have. And for that menu, do you know all of the ingredients that you're going to need? If you do, have a list handy and go here to the list of grocery items and just do a simple check. Are those ingredients here? And how can you check? Well, I just noticed they're not in alphabetical order. We'll put them in alphabetical order, but if you just do a Command F or a Control F, you can search for bacon in your browser and it will tell you if that ingredient is there. So the first thing to do is for your next event, check that you have all of your ingredients. And if you don't have all your ingredients in this list, you just go here, you create new, and you type in what that ingredient is. If the grocery category is missing, again, you go to Menu Manager and you go to grocery category and you enter the category that is missing. Once you know that you have all of your ingredients, what you want to do is start creating a recipe. So you know the ingredients are in the system, you go here in recipes, and chances are the bogus recipes that I entered not only don't apply, but if you look at the actual ingredients in them, they don't make much sense if there are ingredients. These are literally just light test records in order to show you that there should be something here. You can easily go ahead and delete them if you want, or just leave them there as a reference. They'll start with examples, so it shouldn't be a big problem. You can hit delete and hopefully it will work to delete it. Yes, it goes away. But again, you added all of your ingredients. Now you should add a recipe. You call the name of the recipe. You say my recipe name, whatever description you want, what meal type it is, number of servings. Again, if you follow this recipe, the recipe alone, how many people does it, so how many servings does it have? It may have 10 servings. If it has 10 servings and for your event you're going to have 100 people, the system will know to take the ingredients and multiply them by 10 because you have 10 times the number of servings to serve. And the serving size, again, is how much food should be given to each brother when they show up. Is it a spoonful? Is it half a plate? Is it a drop? So you just type it in here. So it's as a reference. This particular field is not used in the calculation. It's literally just an indication for the brothers of what they should serve. So you say the serving size. Let's call it a spoon. This is again just a testing, and you have a recipe, but of course your recipe, which you entered here and you should have typed correctly, doesn't have ingredients. So you go here, after you create it, you get sent back to the list. You just click it again and you start adding ingredients. And by now, all of your ingredients should be in the list. So all you have to do is go here, scroll. This is a long list. We know we're going to try to make it more user friendly, but for right now, please deal with it. You select whatever it is that you want, the quantity to, and the measure type leaves. Okay, and you create it and you start building your recipe, ingredient by ingredient, ingredient by ingredient, until your recipe is full. If it's likely that you're not just going to serve one recipe. Say that you're serving a breakfast, you may have grits, you may have, I don't know, coffee, and you may have muffins. So you're going to create more than one recipe. This may just be for grits. Of course, basil doesn't apply, but I'm just making an example. So you enter all your recipes, and then when you go back, they should all show up here on the recipes. At that point, you can create a menu. What is a menu? A menu is a container of multiple recipes. So you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to create a menu where all I'm going to create is southern breakfast items. So you're just going to create your menu, call it southern breakfast, You create it, and now you have it. You click it, and here you're going to be able to add all of your recipes. You see, this is the recipe that we just created. Of course, you're going to have more than just a few, but you can add them. And then one could be the grits, and the other one is going to be the mashed potatoes, and the other one is going to be, I don't know, the bacon, whatever it is that you add for breakfast. So you have your menu, and a menu can have one recipe, or you can have more than one. It's really up to you and how you like to compose things. But the important thing is that now we have a southern breakfast type of menu, and you know what it's built like. And when you go back, your recipe is there. So what do you do now? Again, if you remember that pyramid at the bottom, there was the ingredients. Let me see if I can pull it up. YouTube. And if I go here, if you look at the video, I'm not gonna play it now, but somewhere here, there you go. At the bottom, there's ingredients. We created the list of all the ingredients. Then you create all the recipes, and then you create all the menus. These three things hopefully won't change too often. It's typical for assembly halls, for example, to have a set of menus with a set of recipes. You do it at the beginning, and then you'll rarely change it. And from then on, all you have to worry about is events and shopping lists. So once you have all your recipes in it and all your menus in it, at that point you just go to events, call it whatever you want, next Pioneer School or whatever it is that you have. You enter a start date, you enter an end date, and they last about a week, so let's call it this way. You enter the number of attendees, and you have an event. Your event is empty right now. There's nothing in it. It tells you, okay, you have the event, but you haven't chosen any menu for it. So now it's time to choose the menu. Notice that when you select the menu, you have two fields that you may not expect. One is the date, and one is how many people attending. Why is it so? Well, the date, it's because often an event may last, like in this case, a week. So are you going to have the same menu every day? If so, you should repeat this 7 times. The first day you may have the southern breakfast, but the second day you may decide to have a different type of menu. And right now we only have a menu, so it's the only one showing up. But if you want to plan for the second day, you just change the date. Now, why do we also have a number of attending if you already have the number of attending here? Well, that's because even though you know that the number of attendees for the Pioneer School is 100, you may know that only 50 show up for breakfast, but 120 show up for lunch. So you have the ability, the flexibility when you plan it to change who's attending what. Or you may say, you know what, for the southern breakfast, I want to serve 100 people, but you may know that there are 5 people that are vegan or glucose intolerant in the audience. So you may have a menu for glucose intolerant people and just add 5 here. That way you know that you have to buy ingredients for 5 people for that particular menu, which is different than the menu above. So having this gives you a lot of flexibility on how you schedule your things. So if we do this, well, let's simulate that. Let's go to menus and create a menu for glucose intolerant breakfast. We create it. And what's in the glucose intolerant breakfast? I don't know, what could we put? Let's create a recipe for glucose intolerant people. What's a breakfast that's for? I really have no idea. Let's just call it mixed fruits, right? And now, and this recipe, let's say that it serves 3 people, and the serving size is 1 big spoonful. We create this recipe, mix fruit. We already have it, so we don't need this. So let's destroy this one, delete it, delete it. We have mixed fruit is an example recipe. There's already some sample stuff in it. The quantities are probably off, but for what we're talking about, I think you understand what we're doing. So we go to events, and notice that right now this events page only shows future events. So if the date of an event starts passing by, the time you log into your website is going to disappear. We're going to add a link to be able to see it, but for right now it only shows future events. So you go to Pioneer School, and oh, I forgot, it's what we need to do is go to an event, and for the glucose intolerant breakfast we're going to add mixed fruit, right? Great. So we did that. Now we go to events, next Pioneer School, and we say, you know what, for our glucose intolerant friends for breakfast, we're going to give them on the 31 their breakfast. But I know there's only 5 brothers, so I don't need to make 100 portions of my glucose intolerant breakfast. I just need to make 5. Add it. Beautiful. Once I'm ready, calculate the shopping list. Yes, calculate it for that day for both of the breakfast events. Continue, and bada bang. And here's your shopping list. We talked about the ability to modify that. Right now we don't have that ability. I suggest you copy and paste it into Excel or in an email if you want to modify it, but this should give you a good starting point. Great. I think this is it for now. Plenty of starter videos. Let me know what you think, and please get your hands dirty, and let's see how it goes. Thank you.